So, I have been looking around to get funds raised for the Russkulls comic, trying to save that local business. And I've been getting a lot of messages of people who say, "Oh, I know this, oh, I know that, I can help." And they'll send me to pages like this. Now, when I had first reached out, I gave it an open mind, because sometimes you gotta dive into it to try to help out. So I contacted, I explained, but who told me to find me? So I told him who. She was a client. Now, first thing first is that this should have been my first red flag, because I was told that this guy helps with fundraisers. Not that it was a business, not that it was a service. But I gave him the benefit of the doubt, because sometimes when you're running something like this, like GoFundMe, you can tip them because it helps keep the platform alive. So maybe by chance this was something just something that he used to keep himself afloat, but he actually had good intentions. So I gave him the benefit of the doubt. So I shared the GoFundMe, which will be in the description. He reviewed it, got back to me, and he said more traffic and more donors' attention, which is something I know, so that's not a problem. So we talk a little bit more, and he makes a huge promise. Now, one thing I've learned, and I'll tell you this about anyone who says they'll promote you, is that they will make a promise, but they will not fully reach that. And the reason why, they'll get very close to it, and then they'll say, "Oh, well, this is the reason it didn't, and you have to spend this." So, using that knowledge, I knew that he wasn't probably going to give the 50K. Was not expecting 50K. However, since what we really need is at least 5K, even though the fundraiser is only for 1.8 at the time. Even if we got the 10K, we would be good on our feet to start doing stuff. So I was okay, necessarily, that I knew that promise wasn't fully going to be fulfilled. So I said that would be perfect. Then he said, "Your own," which is a little bit weird. I explained that it wasn't for me, and it was for Ruskull and his business. "But do you agree, because I can work with your decision?" "Yes, because I'm the one paying for the campaign." And then this person who I reached out to, I'm not going to share there because they don't really have anything to do with this for right now, about service costs. I was never told about service costs, but I kind of expected it given where the conversation was going. He said 200, which was fair for what he was promising. That's pretty fair, but a little suspicious that he would charge a lot less. So that was something I was not expecting. So I said, okay, I think that's fair. Awareness video, I posted my video because Ruskull has not made an official awareness video. Tells me it doesn't look professional, which I knew it wasn't. It wasn't supposed to. It was just supposed to be real. So, okay. And he said, "Ready now." And then I kind of, because let's say that this was real, which obviously I knew it was, at this point I had known that it was kind of looking a little suspicious. I said he should reach out to the owner of the store, which is Ruskull, and I shared his Facebook page. Then he tried to turn around and said, "That means you don't have anything to do." Asked him, "What do you mean?" He says, "Access to do anything about the campaign." I explained what I'm trying to do. And then he kind of fought back. I said, "Yes, I do promote, but I am the owner. I'm not the owner, or the maker of the GoFundMe." I said vendor or affiliate, but if Ruskull sees this, I don't really know what to consider myself, so that's what I said. Because I don't know how else to put it. But he said the one paying for promotion. I told him, yes, I'm the one who's going to pay for it. Which also, now that I'm looking back at this, in no world should you be calling a GoFundMe promotion. But okay, we'll go with it. Doesn't need to reach out to the owner. And I was kind of like, okay, that's kind of ridiculous. But I was like, okay, sounds good. Because my plan was, if this was real and I could really get it going, I was going to reach out to Ruskull myself. He said 80 to get started. Fair. I said, yes, I can. I told him this and that. He said, what of Zelle? Also, by the way, if anyone mentions Zelle, usually it's a scam. So at this point, I knew it was a scam, because anybody who does an actual genuine service will be able to accept card. So I kind of knew it at this point. So I said, I have PayPal, because why not? Okay, let's do it on PayPal, right? Sounds good. Are you ready now? Obviously, yes. Let me send you. Do you have some pics? Kind of a little bit much. He sends me that. I'm not going to open my PayPal because I don't feel like being scammed today. But now we're going to talk about the main dead giveaway. This is used by scammers because it does not have pay protection. I knew this. So this is basically him trying to get around PayPal's automatic protection against scams, so he could basically scam me. So anytime you hear this for a good in service that's not actually a family or friend, do not do this option. It is basically them saying, yeah, I want to take your money, but I don't actually want to do anything for you. It is. I kind of played along. And then I broke the news. It needs me to do it as a good in service payment, which I didn't even attempt to pay it yet. Plus, I would feel more comfortable doing it that way. So, first thing first. Obviously, he knows this because he's obviously trying to get around that pay protection. But I also said it needs me to do it as goods and service because now this sets up two things. First, it's a service. And then I said, plus I would feel more comfortable doing it this way. Also sets up the fact that I don't feel comfortable doing it through friends and family. So he has to respect either one of these things, admittedly both. This is what he sends it. And I haven't even seen his new message, but don't do it as goods and payments because it was a payment I should use for a subscription. And I promise you, by God Almighty, you're safe. And then the typo there, like, that's not a dead giveaway. Politicians use this same tactic, and so do scammers. But when they start bringing in other things that have nothing to do with the conversation, like none of this had nothing to do with but God, but when they make you a promise, or they say, "Don't worry, I will treat you nice, and I will do this," it's usually a lie. So, yeah, yeah. You can try a method I use for all kinds. I work with always. Yeah, don't do any of this. Are you there? See? Still trying to get that sale. So, let's be real about who this person is. And I'm going to show their Instagram page, which they don't even have that many views, but I was still willing to try something. This page is a scam. Do not reach out to this person if you're in need of help for fundraising. Do not reach out to this person. It disgusts me that people are willing to take people's dire problems and dire issues and try to turn it for their gain. And I can't believe that this guy would do that, especially for a local business too. So, yeah, complete scam. And I'm going to do the right thing. Unfollow. Is it going to let me block him? Let's see, is it going to let me block him? And boom. Don't follow this person. Don't get help from this person. Trust your gut. Thank you. Down below will be the link to Russkulls comics. Go support local business. Don't fall for vultures like this.